Bad decision after bad decision led to an epic collapse of epic proportions. We're going to talk about it on today's Locked On Reds.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Reds podcast. Locked On Reds is part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team every day. My name's Stephen Offenbaker. That's Tim Daniel filling in for the vacationing Jeff Carr. I'm really jealous of the vacationing Jeff Carr after today. Tim and I have been covering Cincinnati Reds baseball for a long time. We've been doing it in podcast form for a long time. I think we have a combined 12 years of experience between us talking about this team. We love talking baseball. We love talking Cincinnati Reds baseball, and we love talking about these things with you. On today's show, we are going to address the elephant in the room. If it's over, if this series kind of took them out of contention, then what else can we learn about this team this season? We're going to talk about that here in a little while. We're also going to dig into where can they go from here? Are they actually cooked? I know Tim used that word on his show last night. Are they in fact cooked? We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. And where we're going to start is basically with me trying to figure out what it was that Terry Francona was thinking throughout the course of this game. There were so many questionable decisions made in this game that it kind of has left my head spinning a little bit. And we're going to talk about that on today's show that's brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. All right, Timmy. I don't know where we want to begin with this. I was so excited. I was feeling great. They hung a 5 spot on the Blue Jays.
On Bieber.
Everything was going on Bieber. Everything was going the way we needed it to go. And suddenly, Zach Littell thought he's pitching home run derby. He's going to groove them. He's going to make sure they get those back shots in there. And here we are.
Yeah. So I pointed this on the postcast that I noticed when looking at the game logs. Zach Littell, every other start is either really, really good or awful. So he'll have like a really nice game. Like he had 2 starts ago. He went 7 innings. No, his last start, he went 7 innings. Really good. Start today, awful. Start before the 7 innings, goes 3 innings in Arizona. Start before that, goes 6 innings against, I want to say the Cardinals. No, it wasn't the Cardinals. It was someone, but he pitched pretty well. My point was that he just seems to have this way where it's like, it's not necessarily a coin flip at this point. It's a pattern. This is a thing. And obviously the good news about it is like, he was certainly worth trading an 8-ball prospect for. He was certainly worth taking a chance to see if he could be someone that can help your team out. But what we're finding out is Zach Littell does still, in fact, enjoy giving up home runs. It's still a part of his issue. And I kind of mentioned this in the postcast as well. Like, I looked at the numbers when the Reds traded for him, and it was very convoluted. It was like he had some games where he gave up a lot of homers, but it was all in like 3 or 4 games. Here, it has been the opposite of that. It's not convoluted. It's a lot of just like, you see it. Do you want this on a tee, or do you want me to underhand this to you? Because it's all going the same place either way. And so he just today has an awful game. And I understand it's the Blue Jays, and they got some dudes who can rock it there, but just the way that he, like you mentioned it, the where he was putting the ball was basically saying, like, please put this over the wall.
And it was clear that this is what the direction of things were. I saw it. You saw it. We talked about it. Was Tito asleep? Is that boat chair just that comfortable that he's nodding off in the dugout? And did anybody not feel the need to maybe walk over and poke him in the shoulder and be like, yo, Tito, I know you're the manager. Why don't you get out there and make a pitching change? Why don't we go to Nick Martinez, who we saved and didn't use yesterday when we could have and won that game in the series already? Why don't we do something? But no, he sat there and watched it happen.
Willy-nilly. Yeah, it's been a lot of that of late. And it's been a lot of just kind of like, you mentioned, like, why didn't you use Nick Martinez? I mean, tonight, it's a must-win game. The Reds have to have this game. There's no way around it. Mm-hmm. And they're throwing Lyon Richardson, Yasser Zulueta, and Zach Maxwell out there to throw an inning each. And it's like, you have to win this game. And that is what you're throwing out there. What are we doing?
Yeah, I just don't see how it is they didn't go to Nick Martinez sooner. And then you had arrested Santillan, you had arrested Pagan. They all should have pitched in this game, especially if you had reacted more quickly and kept a 2-run lead. They had an opportunity at one point to make a pitching change with a 2-run lead and kind of try and shut this thing down. And that's absolutely what should have happened. But listen, his bad decisions weren't just limited to the pitching staff. Oh no, because why not take one of your better hitters in the lineup right now, one of the hotter guys in Ke'Bryan Hayes, and go ahead and pitch hit for him with the rookie. Not a defensive replacement upgrade, not really a known offensive replacement upgrade because we're
not
still
of late. Yeah.
Not of late. What in the wide world of sports was Tito thinking there?
As a president of the Ke'Bryan Hayes fan club, am I allowed to speak here, or should this be Tim, podcaster?
You should be Tim, podcaster.
Okay. That didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't. And I love Sal Stewart. I'm just as excited as the next person for Sal Stewart to see if he can be a contributor to this ball club. And I think we all believe he will be in the future. But in a game like that, again, not to rephrase what I said on the postcast, but this wasn't like it was 9-1. This wasn't like it was like a double-digit deficit. They were in blast range. You took out one of your best hitters when you were in blast range. And, you know, I know you could say like history says Ke'Bryan Hayes isn't a great hitter. He's been a great hitter since he's been a Red. We talked about it when I was filling in for Jeff the other day with you. I mean, the OPS plus since he's become a Red's outstanding. But yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. It's pinch hitting TJ Friedel with Will Banfield. And I understand the Will Benson thing. Yeah, sure. I get that. But I think my issue more is like Will Banfield's the best we can do as a third catcher while Tyler Stevenson's on his rehab assignment. Thank God he homered. There's something looking promising for the future with Tyler Stevenson coming back. But man, just the epic decision-making there. And like the Ke'Bryan Hayes substituting out for Sal Stewart one. That's the one that just kind of makes me shake my head.
And I question the decision-making from a standpoint also of the time we are in the calendar, right? Some of the stuff Tito's done over the weekend, I'm like, if this was May, I was talking to Eric Matthews about this yesterday. Like, if this was May, fine. Yeah. Cool. Bullpen day, whatever. It's not May. It's September. And not only are you trying to catch the Mets, but you're getting chased down by the San Francisco Giants. So you have to change the way you're doing things. Every series in September should be viewed as a playoff series, because if you don't win it, you're pretty much eliminating yourself. So you can't worry about the next series with the Mets. You can't really worry about tomorrow. You need to win this game. You need to win right now. And there has been zero, nada, zilch, none in the way of urgency, in the way of aggressive managing to try and manufacture something.
Yeah, I mean, our good friend Mo Egger tweeted out just now, they won't ban you from Great American Ballpark if you admit that Ellie De La Cruz has been disappointing. And big picture, I mean, he had some bunts where he was outstanding, but big picture, yeah, it's been disappointing. And then he kind of also, this lovely stat that our old pal Lance McAllister also tweeted, just referencing all of the local radio guys. The Reds are the only team in the modern era to have a 5-run lead at home, but then allow a run in 7 consecutive innings and lose the game. History, baby.
Yeah, well, they talked about on the TV broadcast, Sadak pointed out that this is just the 4th time in Reds history, in all of Reds history. It's the 4th time that the Reds have led in back-to-back games and scored 8 runs and lost them both. That happened one time in the 1800s in a doubleheader. They lost 2 games in a row after scoring 8 runs. It happened once in 1970. They lost a game after scoring 8 runs.
The team went to the World Series, so.
And then we've done it again this year, losing 2. So, I don't know, Tim. Everybody in the comment sections last night, everybody on social media, everybody kind of feels like they're about in the same place, which is the Reds are done. But the question is, do we agree with that? The question is, could there still be some hope? Is there some place to go from here? And that's exactly the question we're going to discuss right after this. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of the golf course favorite to the non-alcoholic boost that you need. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through the rest of your day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Speaking of the green, I hit a 25-foot putt the other day, putt of my life. Had 5-Hour Energy on board. I'm going to give it just a little bit of credit. Golf is all about good times with great people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf course in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for the full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the great Reds content we've got for you. Locked on Reds, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. You get Tim after each and every Reds game live with the Reds postcast, plus anything extra we drop in along the way. So click subscribe, click that notification bell so you don't miss any of it. All right, where do they go from here? I guess where we got to start this conversation, Tim, is are they truly cooked? I know you touched on it last night on the postcast. Social media is all over it right now. I know our comment section today is going to be all over it. We've seen a building momentum groundswell of everybody saying they're cooked, everybody saying they're done, everybody saying they're not going to make it. Mathematically, they are still in this. The Mets are coming to town. The Mets did lose yesterday as well. The unfortunate thing is, as we're recording, we don't have a result, but the Giants are leading big over the Rockies. They're probably going to win that game, and they will have now passed the Reds in the wild card standings. So now the Giants and the Mets in front of the Reds for the wild card spot. I feel like this series, and especially yesterday's game, was kind of the final nail in the coffin, Tim. I feel like it really wouldn't be I try to be optimistic. You know, Jeff definitely tries to be optimistic, but I think you got to call a spade sometimes. And I think that they officially have kind of removed themselves from the equation after this performance over the weekend.
I think you're right, man. We're at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off now where it's, you're still here? It's over. Mm-hmm. Go home. We're at that point, Steve. So if you look realistically at the schedule coming up, so we got the Mets series coming up, obviously. After the Mets are the Padres. If you look at the rest of the schedule, there are two teams the Reds are playing that you can say they're better than. That's the Oakland, Las Vegas, Sacramento Athletics, and
who the Reds will lose a series to,
and the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are the final.
The Reds will lose a series to.
Yeah, but you got the Mets, the Padres, the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Brewers are your other series the rest of the way. I don't see how they scrape together enough wins there. I mean, maybe the Brewers have clinched the Central by that point and they don't play anybody. I don't think that's going to be the case because they're still in a really close race for the 1 seed for the National League, that they're trying to get. So I don't see it, man. I just don't. And my concern now is that we go in Anaheim 6 games above 500, Steve, and now we're looking at maybe being 77, 85.
Mm-hmm. You look at that schedule and all those teams you just rattled off. In order to remain relevant in this wild card conversation, they cannot lose another series. And they really need to sweep the Mets to kind of jumpstart the thing. But you're asking them then to sweep the Mets and then win a series against the Padres, win a series against Milwaukee, go out to Sacramento for another West Coast trip and win that series. It feels like a big, big ask. And then they never play Pittsburgh well, and you need them to win that series too. So I really feel like we have realistically, honestly reached kind of the end of this run. And it makes me sad because there were so many opportunities for this team to be better than it is. There were so many opportunities in season for the front office to go out and address some needs. And they tried, to do a little bit, but they never really just leaned into being aggressive and fixing the problems that this team had. And this team is going to enter the offseason this year with the same problems that it's had entering the offseason for the last 4 seasons now. It lacks a power hitting outfield bat. It needs to find it. Maybe that is Noel V. Marte, but you still have to address replacing Austin Hayes. So you still need to go get an outfielder. The bullpen needs a complete rebuild as far as I'm concerned at this point, with the exception of a couple guys. And where your real strength is right now is your starting pitching, and you've got more starting pitching coming back from injury. So you don't need to go out and sign a starter. You're going to let Littell walk and say goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on your way out, and pick up a few of the home run balls from the Dora on your way out of here. They are right back where they started, and it's a little frustrating because this was the window we were promised. And that window just fell on our hand today. And it was really hard to amp up for this show, Tim, because I'm a little sad that, I believed we might get some playoff baseball this year. And that seemingly evaporated yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned all those things that just rattled off, but also you're looking at a situation where they have 4 guys that you feel are a guarantee need to be on the team next year hitting wise, maybe 5. I would say 4, because depending how you feel about Tyler Stevenson, which I'm all for, give him a chance again next year. But there are a lot of people who aren't, as you guys know very well from your episode late. I am in the group of let's give him another chance. But Hayes, Ellie, McLean, and Marte. Those are the 4 I feel like, okay, I can roll those guys out next year. They're going to give me a chance to win. That means that there's 5 other hitters, Steve, that the Reds have to figure out what the heck they're going to do with. And you mentioned it. The outfield, TJ Friedl cannot be your best outfielder. He cannot be your best outfielder if you're going to win a lot of games. I love him. You love him. Jeff loves him. All the fan base loves him. He cannot be your best outfielder. He cannot be out there with a 737 OPS, being the best guy you roll out of those 3 every week. They play in GABP. They're 24th in the league as a team in homers. That can't happen either. And you mentioned the bullpen situation. There's just a lot of things where, like you said, we're back to square one. And I'm going to give Terry Francona a shot again next year for the manager spot if he doesn't retire in the offseason, which I don't think is going to happen. I'm willing to see what he can do next year if they come and bring in better players. Because the example I used on the postcast was that I understand you can only cook with the ingredients you're given, but you can control how much of the ingredients you put in the recipe.
Santiago Espinal. I know that's what that was about. A couple additional
He's like
names.
Too much paprika you have. That's Santiago Espinal.
You talked about 4 guys. I think, we're going to see a lot of Jose Trevino. He's going to be around, so he'll still be in this lineup a lot. And also Spencer Steer. Now, I know it's not been the year we expected, but slowly his OPS plus is climbing. He's up to 88 now, so his OPS plus is 12% below league average. He's got 17 home runs this year, Tim. He's hit for a little pop at times. I started the year wonky with a shoulder, right? And we've been talking about shoulders an awful lot the last couple years.
Yep.
But I'm going to give Spencer the benefit of the doubt. And I think had not the shoulder injury and trying to play through it, he probably was the guy we thought he was going to be this year. So I see him back as well. But you're right. There's a lot of guys to replace, a lot of moves to be made. Tyler Stevenson on a rehab assignment right now, homer down in Louisville. He's going to be back to wrap things up this month. So we'll kind of get a look to see where he is. The thumb injury, basically, last I heard was, just something he's got to play through. So hopefully he can do that and show us something. I'm just wondering if, do we lean back into this team if they sweep the Mets? Let's just say.
Yes, we do. We shouldn't, but we will.
I think that's what's going to happen because, again, they do what we ask of them the most frustrating way possible. They'll go sweep the Mets to rope us back in one more time. Then they'll break our hearts one more time. I really think that's where we're going to land.
What's the seed in Sopranos? Last week you said you were out, and this week you said you're back. You're all the way back in. What changed? That is my life as a Reds fan.
All right, Tim, we've got a little bit left in this season. If they're truly done, there are still some things we can learn about this team and the players on it the rest of the way. Coming up, we're going to talk about what those things are right after this. There's nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person, catch a foul ball, but actually getting tickets, that's the tough part. The queues, the login screens, the surprise fees. It takes all of the fun out of it. That's why I use Game Time, the app that gives you the advantage. It gives the advantage back to the fans. Jeff and I talk about this all the time. We use this every time we go down to GABP. We head down to the banks. We find us a spot. We post up, have a couple drinks, have some food. And then close to the first pitch, we log on to the Game Time app, find great deals on tickets, lowest prices that you can get. If you're going to a venue that you don't know, this is a great app to use. It gives you a view from your seat. You know exactly what you're going to get. You know exactly what you're going to be seeing, and you get some of the lowest prices around. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase, which is already greatly discounted tickets. You're going to get $20 off. Terms do apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. If you can't watch us here on YouTube, you can listen to us on your favorite podcasting app. We're pretty much on all of them. If you find one we're not, you need us there, let Jeff know. He can generally make that happen for you. Also, make sure you go check out the Locked On MLB feed. They've got Locked On MLB Game Night over there. They watch every single game, every single night with the experts of the Locked On Podcast Network to give you all of the information. And you don't have to watch all of the games. You can just watch your favorite team. So check out Locked On MLB Game Night.
I was featured on that the other day.
Oh, you were? Look at you go.
Billy DeVore and I were featured on there.
Oh, so that one made it. Very good. Very, very good. All right. There's some things to learn, Tim. I have some questions. I think where we've landed, you and I, and if Jeff were here, he would agree, we can pretty much call it. This season, the wild card opportunity probably passed us by.
Yep.
There are some things to learn. So let me ask you some questions about how to handle things the rest of the way. Question 1. Do you still bring Chase Burns back and put him in the bullpen for the month of September? Or is it time to shut him down, let that arm rest up, and he'll be in the starting rotation next year?
No, if he's coming back, I'm putting him in the rotation. I need to know that I can count on him for 5-6 innings as much as I possibly can get from him. And I feel he can. I think we all feel he has that in him. We still get some buffoons who talk to us about his ERA because of one bad start in Boston. He's been, other than that, pretty incredible. And honestly, who do you want to see get starts right now? Him or Zach Littell? If you're gonna do the Zach Littell thing to the end of the year, put him in the bullpen and have Chase Burns be the guys getting his starts. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I want to see a few more starts out of Chase Burns. Put Littell in the bullpen. It doesn't matter at this point. And if anything, and you really need to just piggyback Littell off of Burns, just do that. And cover the innings, save the bullpen for a day. That's what I would do too. I totally agree with that. Is there anybody else in the starting rotation that you would just shut down given the situation? I mean, Lodolo, just because we know he's probably going to get hurt at some point anyway. And let's see if Chase Petty can get 2 more starts to see if he can prove something to us, because as bad as he has been, I don't feel like it's 100% his fault. I feel like he's also been used in really bad situations. And I'm not 1,000% certain I believe in Chase Petty. So give us a chance to give us some momentum going into spring training, or give a chance to go out there and prove yourself that maybe we can get you moved for someone else that can help us get a power bat.
Do you start Sal Stewart every day the rest of the way?
Yes, but I'm not 1,000% certain what position. I will DH him. I'd probably rotate him in first base. He is not taking any days away from Brian Hayes, because that is our one hope at good defense on a day-to-day basis. And also, I want to see Brian Hayes selfishly get a platinum glove. Okay, I agree with that. I can get on board with that. Do you continue to play Ellie De La Cruz every single day until the season ends to give him 162? God, we were saying that in June that he needs a day off. Like, imagine getting to this point now that you still want him to play every day. No, because it has flat out ruined his year. The injury to his leg has ruined his season. And I know that everyone wants to do this whole thing where they talk about center field and this and that. You're wasting your breath. Scott Boras is not going to let him play center field. Let's just get it out of the way now, and let's just go ahead and accept what it is, and just hope to God that he figures out the error issue for 26. That part's going to be a lot of offseason conversation, a move to center field. I anticipate many, many, many episodes talking about that. I agree with you that they should rest him,
because
They
I
won't.
do agree with you also that this is a big part of the results we've seen from him this year. His legs are tired. His legs were never fully right, and there's where his power went. I got a message on X yesterday asking, where did Ellie's power go? What happened? His legs have not been right, and the power comes from the legs.
Mhm.
So they're going to play him every day the rest of the way, though. That's what's going to happen. He's going to play in all 162. That's just how it's going to be. Do you bring up anybody from AAA and give them playing time right now? Maybe Rodriguez, and get him some looks to see what you've got.
Selfishly, I just want to see him because I'm a huge fan. And I know this won't happen. I made the joke about it in the postcast, but at this point, just because we know Will Banfield's not good, I would just go ahead and bring up Alfredo Duno for a couple of days and be like, let's see what you got here at the big league level, buddy. I know you're 19 and the best you've done is 8-ball, but you're better than the backup catcher we currently have. But yeah, realistically, I would for sure be bringing Hector Rodriguez up especially once Louisville season ends. It's like a 2-week difference at this point. Mm-hmm. So I need to know what, I mean, yeah, I love Hector Rodriguez. I'm very excited about Hector Rodriguez. So
what do you need to see from Tyler Stevenson when he returns from the injured list? I imagine that Trevino will still carry most of the load behind the plate given the situation.
Just hit the balls in the gaps again. I mean, that's really where he's at his best. Like, yeah, we know he has the pop. I know you're still aiming for 40 home runs. I think he's hit 40 home runs since you said that in general.
I should add that up. I should go back and find that and add that up.
Jake Chafin, one of our everydayers, did add it up and sent it to me. I think he's at like 43 since you made the first comment. So, but yeah, if he's hitting balls in the gaps again, I'm going to be just as happy. And I still fully believe in Tyler Stevenson. I know you do too, as a hitter. And I think when people just want to bring up his batting average and things like that, they're not looking at what catchers in baseball hit in general. He is one of the better hitting catchers. And when he's fully healthy like he was in 2024, he can be really, really good.
How much are you willing to blame Terry Francona for what's going on right now versus the front office and the ownership group?
35%. I would say. I think 65% is on Brad Matter, Nick Krall, and crew. But a lot of his decision-making in-game, and again, I understand he's dealing with with the cards he's been given, but there's still a lot of things that just leave us shaking your head and scratching your head. And like even some of the comments he makes, like after South Stewart got his first hit the other day, and he says something to the extent of we were trying to get in the mood with a runner over. I'm like, It's like kind of like you said earlier. In May, you want to move the runner over? Sure. Why not? When you're desperate for everyone you can possibly get, nah.
This is also a reminder that Nick Krall is not on the hot seat, folks. You can be upset with how he's done things. You can be upset with how he's built this team. But all you need to know is that he took his marching orders from Bob and Phil, who made a lot of money this year. And as far as they're concerned, he is getting an excellent performance appraisal from the ownership group. So I'm not even going to lean into that. I know that that's going to be another offseason hard go in the comment sections, and it is just simply not going to happen. They are not under any circumstance this offseason going to fire Nick Krall. It's just not going to happen. Or sell the team. This is the hand we're dealt as fans of this particular organization, guys. And as much as if Wishing made it so, we would have a billionaire owner. But Wishing doesn't make it so.
So one of the post guys said something yesterday about like, can the Reds find a way to get sold to Jeff Bezos? I was like, I don't know if that's the guy, but if he's going to spend money and win, I'll take whoever it is.
Maybe Steve Cohen can own 2 teams. Let's try that and see if that works. All right,
that's going to get into the baseball business,
right? All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition. I know it's a downer of a show, a downer of a spot in the season. There's a little bit of baseball left, and I enjoy baseball, and summer's starting to wind down, and we got a little bit of baseball left, but it's not going to be a playoff push. We're going to be here in your feeds every single day the rest of the way, breaking down these games, gathering up news, gathering up rumors, reports, information. Tim's going to be on the postcast live after every game the rest of the way, because we're working hard to keep you locked on Reds every single day. We are definitely not on Terry Francona's Christmas card list.
Nope.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Started when Jeff called him coach.
That's true. That's very, very true.